Hello, everyone. I'm Benny, CEO of Magdent. And what we're doing is that we are using a technology called pulsed electromagnetic field in dental implants. As you can see here, this is a healing abutment. So if I'm looking at the audience right now, I would guess that roughly 70% of the people here have at least one implant. I'll skip this. Okay, so the oral health is actually growing significantly, and because of the understanding that it influences overall health in general, there are roughly going to be 1.4 billion people at the age of over 60, which means many people would need a solution for their implants. So what we have done, and you don't want to be in this guy's position, is the pulse electromagnetic field is an old technology that was originally discovered by Mr. Ampere. It's being used by NASA since the 1960s when astronauts are getting back from space. It's being for their overall health and recovery. And it's being used today, especially in the orthopedic industry, for bone regeneration and bone growth stimulation, but also for athletes to support their overall wellness. So if you can look at me for a second. Okay. So in the middle, that's the orthopedic device technology. This is an FDA-approved technology since 1979. We did a similar concept what Mr. Dov Moran did. We just took this big technology and miniaturized it into a healing abutment. So the standard process of when you get your implant placed, you get the problematic tooth out, you get a standard titanium-based implant, and then there is the recovery time, which takes 3 to 6 months usually. You get the healing abutment, which is this titanium small part, and it stays there for 3 to 6 months. This is our healing abutments. Same size. We have inside a small battery, a coil, and a small computer. And this is the activator. Press 1, 3 seconds activation, and that's it. So this worked for 30 days on a predefined parameters that we have defined. So the dentist gets back to the patient, screw this inside the patient's mouth, and these are the results. We have a nice team, KOLs that support us from around the world. So being the first company in the world that actually using this technology in dentistry, after completing a few years of product development, we had to explore what are the benefits. So we published 9 articles until today, including 2 in Nature, and these are the benefits. So whenever you place your implant, you get faster bone formation, which reduces the recovery time from 3 to 6 months to 1 or 2 months only, 4 to 8 weeks. We're increasing patients' pool. This is important for patients that suffer from poor bone quality, like diabetes, heavy smokers, a huge amount of people around the world. And we're talking about prevention. Prevention, implant longevity. There is no similar technology like this in the world. We know that because we have filed for 510(k) de novo. We work with implant distributors, which eventually this device is a door opener for them with implant companies, which will allow them to increase their market share in the battle of innovation. And we have distributions due to our CE clearance, so we sold thousands of our devices. If you have a problem with your implant, you can reach out today to your dentist, also in Germany, and ask to use our device with our distributors. And we have raised $7 million until today, raising 8 more for this A round, with the opportunity to scale up to accomplish our FDA process, which we already started. And that's it. So I have a few more seconds. I think this is a huge opportunity because we are beyond the complicated stage of product development. This is a fully commercialized product. We have signed a huge distribution agreements in 2024. We see a lot of adoption of our technology, which again, this is a known technology. We just made this device used for the first time in dentistry. You can follow us, of course, on LinkedIn, and we have a huge, there's a big event now in Cologne, so if you're around, you can meet us as well. Thank you.
Benny, I have two questions following your presentation. One is, how long do you think before FDA approval? And the second is, what is the total attainable market as far as expected revenue, let's say, in 5 years, 10 years?
Sure. So, you know, we've done a pre-submission process with the FDA, and we're going to do the same studies that we already completed and published in peer-reviewed journals. So we expect that the FDA will take us roughly 2 years only. Everything is actually ready to launch. And about the market, you know, so the dental market is $150 billion industry. If I'm looking specifically on the implant market, that's roughly $10 billion market. We don't address only the position of when you get your implant, you're going to use our device. We're also talking about prevention, treating bone loss, which is a huge problem which don't have a solution today and occurs in 40% of the cases. So overall, we believe that, you know, this technology will become the new standard of care, and it's on the market. So it's
the sky's the limit.
Yeah, the sky's the limit.
תודה.
Thank you very much.
עמית, בבקשה.
Okay, thank you very much. Toda, danke. We are bringing the first medical device for early detection of colorectal cancer. This is a device called Jigsaw, and it's based on machine learning and deep learning algorithms that analyze, thank you, spectral signature of the patient tongue, on which certain bacteria are correlated to gastrointestinal disorders, especially CRC or colorectal cancer. We've been able to collect data from over 16,000 patients so far, and we have their tongue images, and we have their colonoscopy and gastroscopy results as well, which are, of course, used to train our algorithms and to evaluate their performance. CRC is a tricky disease. It starts, if you look from the left, with small polyps that start to grow on the colon, and for many years they are benign. If they are removed at this point, cancer will never occur. The problem is that the current screening methods that exist today are all what called FET, or fecal occult blood tests. They only can detect blood, and blood is only released to the colon when the polyp is very, very big after about 7 years. So we have lost a lot of many potential years for early detection, and therefore, although the process is so long, colorectal cancer is the second deadliest cancer worldwide. 100% preventable, too deadly. So what's the problem of a fecal occult blood test or FET test? First of all, as I said, it's not sensitive for early detection. But on top of that, it's very unpopular with patients. I don't know how many of you have tried to take this test, but it's not pleasant. You have to deal with your own stool, sample it into a kit, send the kit to a lab, and get the results a few weeks later. And hence, the compliance rate is very low. It's less than 20% worldwide. This leads to a lot of unnecessary death due to misdetection, and of course, a huge economic burden on the healthcare systems. To solve that, we've brought Jigsaw. Jigsaw is a one-of-a-kind point-of-care medical device that can be placed in a general practitioner's office. Patient just comes, sits in front of the machine without any preparation, and extends the tongue. The unit takes 6 images of the patient tongue, and within seconds, generates a result whether the patient has elevated risk for colorectal cancer or adenoma, which are the polyps. So comparing to all the competition, our performance is much higher than anything else that is in the market, on top of being very simple and, of course, less expensive than anything else. But most importantly, as I said, it's the only early detection method that exists. We are aiming at a serviceable market of over 300,000 points of sale, which are general practitioners' offices, out of which we intend to penetrate around 6.5% over a period of 5 years. Until today, physicians do not take part in getting the payment for prescribing the fit test to their patients. We are changing that and giving incentive to the physicians by actually punching the code when they do the test in their office, and of course, get the reimbursement. Our business model is based on SaaS. We are just putting the unit for free in the physician's office and share the reimbursement payment for each test. This brings us to an estimate of over 180 million euros gross profit after 5 years of sales. We are in round A of investment seeking. We are already secured 2.5 million euros, and we are looking for another 2.5 to complete the round A, which will take us through the regulatory process in both US and Europe, of course, finishing our pivotal clinical studies. The next round we intend for 27-28, which will be for finalizing the commercialization and go to market. And this round we expect to be around 20 to 30 million euros. Thank you very much.
Amit, thank you very much. That sounds amazing. You have here technology, hardware, medicine. Can you tell us a bit about your team, who is behind this, and what sort of expertise they bring to the table?
Sure. So our founder and CEO, David Rainis, he's a serial entrepreneur with 7 exits in his background, including Orpheus Medical that was sold to Intuitive Surgical. And he brings a lot of experience in the commercial side. Myself, I have over 25 years of experience in the medical device arena. I'm originally a master's in computer engineering and know a lot about the medical device field. We have our VP Regulatory and Clinical Studies also has a vast experience in getting clinical studies ahead, and we are actually active in clinical studies both in Europe, US, and of course Israel.
Thank you very much. Ronen, bevakasha.
Hello, everyone. Can everybody see me well? Eyesight is very important, right? It all started, I'm Ronen, Einat, CEO and co-founder of ReeoVision. Thanks for Restart IL, Benny Moran, and all events host to asking me here. We are a pre-seed company, early startup, not as my friends here, and I'm starting to present our company, which is presenting an innovative, better performance, cost-effective medical imaging device with multimodal OCT. All this project started when my father passed away from Alzheimer's disease a few years ago, in a very nasty disease. He was sick for some time. After his death, at the time, I was working on a computer vision companies, startups, very known startups in Israel and worldwide. But then I was thought to myself after his death, what is this thing for me? And I quit the job of a full-time job and started looking for something that really challenging, high impact, and profitable. In my search, I found a field which tried to detect neural degeneration in retinal imaging, but this field is in the research stage at the moment, so it's not right to start with that. But retinal imaging is valid market, which I show you in a few minutes. And we start from the retinal imaging. Once the neurodegeneration imaging in the retina will emerge, we will be there to grab this potential. Our mission and our vision is to have a company, AI-powered diagnostics service offering in 10 years. Thank you. Okay, globally 500 million people suffer from eye conditions that they require ongoing monitoring treatment and adaptive treatments. And OCT is a new technique for imaging of tissues which deliver three-dimensional representation of the tissue. It can get to 10 microns resolution or even 7 microns resolution depending on the setup, on the settings, but the OCT is an existing technology which can detect abnormalities, as you see here in one example. However, current OCT tooling are expensive, bulky, and often inaccessible to primary care people level. And they don't deliver full diagnosis, good full diagnosis. At ReeoVision, we develop a new approach for implementing the OCT incorporated with the small, effective, cost-effective, high resolution and better performance device. Current OCT tools perform only 16 to 25 cross-section scanning, where our device will bring full representation of the tissue, full 3D representation of the tissue. And our device will be small and cost-effective, mounted on existing station on the ophthalmologist clinics. Also, it will combine in the same optics. We will use, combine this OCT and autofocus and RGB imaging and fluorescence and other modalities in one unique optics to deliver higher AI-based diagnostics, where current OCT tooling performs two optical settings, one for the OCT scanner and the other for the imaging, were giving rise to their price and cost. Doctors really love this solution once it be working. Market size is $2.2 million annually, the whole OCT, and we want to take a bite of all of this. However, at the moment, we will start with the ophthalmology market, which is the largest segment, 200 million in the US, and it's growing rapidly due to aging of population and increasing health expenses. We want to collaborate with the large companies, with the existing players, since the market is very conservative. Medical doctors and optometrists are very conservative buyers. They will buy only known brands, and we would like to collaborate with the players to leverage their distribution channels and penetration data. Thank you. Okay, this is the status. We have a patent which was approved 2 weeks ago, first set of patents, and we have funding, started funding from the Israeli Innovation Authority, and we are running tests and everything, and at the moment we're looking for additional people to join our team. This is my partner Yaniv, which is an ophthalmologist, and my scientific advisory board. We look for funding, we will look for collaborations, we look for corporations and help to deliver this project forward. And as part of next October, we memorized Omri Ram, which was killed on the Nova Festival. Omri was a very cheerful guy. I know him. He was the son of my cousin, and we met, and we like it a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ronen, and thank you for mentioning next October, which was our partner in our first year. Ronen, you talked about early stage. Can you give us a timetable that you expect how things will develop in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yes, of course. The first year, once we get pre-seed funding, we expect to have the first year for the POC, meaning proof of concept system that works well on the laboratory to show that we can do that. Next year would be to do the prototype and viable product. The year after will be regulation and starting to engineering and manufacturing. Third year would be start selling and penetration, starting from the US, Europe, and then move, once it was successful, move to additional segments like dermatology, cardiology, and other OCT-based segments of the market.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Aviad. Aviad is one of our Restart IL repeat customers.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. So my name is Aviad Kaufman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called RealView Imaging, which basically invented a new field, which is called medical holography. Thank you very much for the invitation to present here.
RealView's digital light shaping technology is creating interference-based holography. With this kind of true holography, multiple depth planes at multiple distances are created in real time and projected simultaneously. You can now enter the world of realistic 3D environments. Using multiple depth planes, we create an optical reality that provides you with a natural viewing experience. The eyes and brain retain the full set of cues for depth perception, allowing you to have a spatially accurate, long-lasting interaction with and within the 3D image, with no side effects. How do we do this? Static or dynamic 3D data are fed into the system and transformed to interference patterns by our advanced algorithms. The electro-optical holographic engine then reconstructs the patterns into holograms right in the palm of your hand. We call it live holography, the premium augmented reality solution. This is not an illusion, it's optical reality.
We are empowering 3D-based cardiology procedures, very specific procedures that are growing today, basically moving surgical procedures into the minimally invasive suite. So physicians, I'm sure many of these names don't tell you much, but anybody that knows what a mitral fixing a valve in the heart, it's complicated, long procedures that are totally based on imaging. We started sales in Israel, in the largest pediatric center in Israel, Schneider Hospital. We have a system in Columbia University in New York. We have a first system working in Germany in Bad Oeynhausen, which is one of the top 3 cardiology centers in Germany. We have a first system in France, additional systems in the US coming in. And the most important thing is the clinical part. This is not a cool gadget. This is a clinical tool that can potentially revolutionize the way physicians are treating patients in 3D. It allows a few things. One is visualization. You see here a physician working with a system. This is a real heart of a real patient during the procedure. He's looking at it. He can now understand what he's looking at. He can visualize the depth. He can manipulate the information, so you can zoom in volumetrically and have the heart floating in front of you very accurately. He can crop the image. You can mark points inside. And it's also a new way for physicians to communicate with other physicians in the room, potentially totally changing the way these procedures are being done. We've done live cases. This is the nice thing about the cardiology market. There is good podiums and good conferences that you can actually present what you're doing. So on the right here, you see a live conference that we presented in Munich just a few months ago. This is a real patient on the table during the procedure, and you can see the physician, Professor Rudolph in this case, which is one of the leading cardiologists in Germany, working with the system, looking at the hologram, manipulating it, and we now have additional processes in Germany, which is a very interesting market for us. It doesn't stop in cardiology. We're now in the field of structural cardiology, which is specific, complicated procedures, moving to electrophysiology, which is electrical problems of the heart, but there is a long line of opportunities for us. Some will do alone, some will do with business development opportunities, imaging companies, device companies, but there is no reason not to use holographic imaging for oncology, for robotics, for neuro applications. There's a huge world out there that is treating patients using 3D imaging, and we're taking all this existing imaging, whether it's ultrasound or CT or MRI, and we're bringing it to the next step of holographic imaging. We have some of the best investors, world-class investors in Israel, including our crowd, John, that I need to make sure to update you. It's been a while. Yeah. We have a market-ready product, FDA, CE It's the first holographic system to have FDA NC approvals, and this is our unique position in the market. We've established over the past year and a half, a sales and marketing organization. We're now selling, as I mentioned, in the US and in Europe, and things are moving forward very nicely. And due to the situation in Israel, we've done a safe round, which is almost fully completed. We've decided potentially to expand it as well. So there are various investment opportunities that we're happy to explore. This is what I think we're all here for, and myself included. I'm happy to talk to any of you that is interested or that can help us or that would like to consider investing in the company and share more information. And thank you very much.
Aviad, thank you again for this presentation. Two short questions. First of all, who is the customer of your device? And second of all, you have been with us already. If you can share a bit about your Restart IL experience.
Sure. So first of all, the customers for us are the interventional cardiologists that are performing these procedures. This is the person in each hospital that we need to convince. The good thing is it's a very concentrated community, so we're kind of, this guy is introducing us to the next hospital, and there's a lot of copycatting. Oh, he has a holographic imaging. Why am I still looking at a screen? So that's the basic customers. Of course, the sales process is, as everything in life, more complicated. So once we have a hospital, I just came back from a hospital in Ulm, which is interested, but it's a process. He needs to get his team and his management on board, etc. So it's a 6 to 9, 12 months sales process, but you start it and you finish, and then you have a system there. So that's the customers. We've actually participated in Restart IL in previous conferences. My partner presented there, and it's been a good experience for us in one of these conferences in the US. We've actually met an investor that eventually now did a huge participation in the current safe round, which is one of the reasons I'm here, and I hope there are other opportunities that I can say the same in the next conference.
Thank you very much. תודה לכולכם.
Thank you. תודה.